you said. You keep trying to skip past what you said as far as this identity politics bullshit and this diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so basically what you basically telling me is that you want to vote somebody in based off of racism and prejudice and bias because you're not looking at who's best for the job. You're looking at, and the first thing that you said was, this is what I don't like about Trump. And then you tried to qualify it by a bunch of general talking points, especially when it comes to the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Those ain't general.
I ain't gonna lie, he baptized her right there. You hear me? Hey, he put her in the water. He put her in the water right there, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
It's gonna increase the average American $1,700 per year. Yes,
it's not, because the tariffs are specifically targeted towards Chinese companies, specifically BYD. So what he said was, for example, I want to put 100% tariff on BYD, Build Your Dreams, which is a Chinese EV company. And what you see during the Biden administration, which is happening in real time, is they are actually looking to buy Chrysler and Dodge in order to circumvent it. And your administration that's here right now is letting it happen. They're bankrupting American companies right now so BYD can come in and buy that company.
I just want you to know that you can Google the $500 billion tariff that Trump wants to implement. It's going to cost the average American $1,700.
Listen, again, you can Google what you want, but Google is not a fact.
So what's the fact then?
The source by which you go through, it's an estimation of what it's going to cost. But I guarantee, I know this for a fact.
And just to expound on that real quick, when you going through your sources and you talking about anything, you want to have multiple sources that you can go back to and see if those sources pretty much come around the same answer. Earlier today, I was talking to someone about, oh, women are going to have more money than men in the near future. That's what this other person was saying based off this article. You want to have multiple sources that's pretty much saying the same thing, because you'll have one that'll be a particularly biased about something just because that's the way they want it to portray out to people for whatever reason, whatever motive they have. Or it may be the other way where they want to be biased and portray something for whatever they want to have, whatever they want you to think, right? So you just want to have multiple sources you can go through and see if they can consistently say the same thing.
No. Listen, this is what we know for a fact. We know for a fact that inflation for Americans is over 20% during the Biden administration's rule. So if you want to talk about facts, no. Listen. Again, we're talking about what you think. We know for a fact that motherfuckers couldn't go out and buy groceries and fill up their cart today. We know that jobs. Hold on.
Anton,
Cisco is laying off. Stellantis is laying off. Harley Davidson is laying off. Google is laying off. All of these, Kellogg's is laying off. People don't have jobs today. They are.
Why is that,
bro?
Why is that?
Because the Biden administration did not make sure that they tamped down inflation. Oh, wait. So I'm wrong? I'm wrong.
So Trump started inflation because Biden didn't stop it.
No, Trump focused on saving American jobs. That's what he did.
Every president has added on.
So Trump didn't start inflation. Inflation started itself, Just to be honest, to be fair to Biden or any president that's had inflation, like that typically happens just because the stock markets, money's going a certain way. You having to spend money on war. You have to spend money on certain things. That just happens. But it's how you prevent or fight back inflation, which gives you the nod by the American people or nod by people. That's what's critical and what's key.
Let me tell you what else he did. Let me tell you what else that was beautiful, because a lot of people are misinformed when it comes to the tax cut. What else he did was he ensured the tax cut, and the purpose of that was to force American companies. Listen, you can smile all you want. I like your teeth. It's beautiful. But it don't matter. You're getting washed right now.
Yeah,
what he did was he instituted tax cuts in order to ensure American companies brought foreign profits back over here at a lower tax rate instead of keeping them overseas where they then leverage. You muted, big dog.
We can't hear you, CJ. Leave and come back. Because once you take off your iPods,
that's because God is working. God is working. Listen, these people are sitting here, and it's so funny. These people are sitting here arguing against Trump instead of arguing for their candidate. That's how you know that we fucked up. That's how you know that all they doing is leaning on identity politics. This country is worse off than 3.5 years ago, and they will still vote for their own fucked up interests that ain't even got no interest because they can't cite one policy that they love Kamala Harris for.
Come on.
So as I just stated, you literally just told us the reason we have inflation is because of the tariff that Trump implemented when he was in office.
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you just said. That's exactly what you just said.
That's not what I said.
I'm glad we got playback.
You can go with playback, but again, help me to understand.
You just told us the reason we have inflation is because of the tariffs that Trump implemented.
I'm gonna spend time tonight watching you and him at the same time.
No, you're not. You're wrong.
DJ, we've always had inflation.
Help me to understand. No. Listen. Help me to understand why your candidate deserves to be the president of the United States of America.
Because I don't want an old ass dude in the office. That's number one. Number two.
So I hope homie was saying that when Biden was up there too. They both old. You know what I'm saying? They just what we have. Now, we got Kamala Harris now, but age don't make a difference. If somebody older and knows how to do the job, and you got somebody younger that don't know how to do the job, I want the person that's older that knows how to do this job, especially if we're in a critical state to where you don't have time to teach them. And I ain't even, because that doesn't even happen as a president, right? Like, ain't nobody sitting there teaching you how to do stuff or run everything. Like, you got to come with something to the plate. But let me just say this. Like, think about it like a job, right? And they're looking to hire an employee because they just lost an employee that had 10 years experience. They're going to need somebody to fill that role. And then you have a young candidate that meets some of the standards. Then you got an older candidate that meets all the standards. The young candidate has the potential to work for the company for a long time. He's open to growth and going up in the company, all those things, right? Then you got an older guy who will probably end up maybe retiring in the next couple of years or so. But you're in a critical state where you need somebody to meet all the requirements to get the job done. You're going to hire the older guy every single time, especially as someone that's president. You're going to need somebody up there that know what the hell they doing, because you don't even get that chance where somebody's really baby walking you through everything that you need to do as a president.
Hold on. Number two, I like what they're doing for veterans. Number three, I don't like his police policy. I don't like his stop and search policy.
What is his police policy?
Hey, you're not going to just stop and search anybody. Number four.
You've also served this country, correct?
Correct.
Now tell these people, okay, after I just said they left a receipt with a $13,000 food stamp balance. Tell these people, as a veteran that served this country, right? Tell them how much food stamps you get in a month.
$23. $23.
I have veterans in my family. I'm a veteran. I've been self-employed for so long. But somebody, please tell me, how do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he shows me paperwork where they'll be funding him money to buy my food truck, but I need my president to tell me why I worked so hard all these years, all these decades. Couldn't get a business loan, but I bust my ass to get the money to create my business.
Homie said, homie said he like what they doing for veterans. Last I checked, veterans don't feel the same, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I just, whoa, that's crazy.
Well, I don't like that he wants to weaponize the Department of Defense. We're not going to do that.
No, listen.
Hold on. You asked me a question.
You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question.
You asked me a question, so I'm going to answer.
No, listen. You can go off script, but I need you to answer my question.
I'm answering your question. I need you to listen.
No, what is it?
I need you to listen.
No, I heard you.
I need you to listen. You asked me a question, so I'm going to answer it.
Listen. What do you like about Kamala Harris's policies that you would cause to, not what you don't like about Trump? It's a very specific question.
I like what she's going to do for veterans.
No, listen. Because I want to make sure.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I want to make sure you hear me clearly.
I heard you the first time.
What do you like about Kamala Harris's policies that would cause you to vote for?
So number one, she wants to cap the rent. I think that's a great policy. Number two,
the United States of America has no control over what it is that you can pay in rent.
Let him have it, Anton. Let him talk.
So you want me to answer? Or you gonna keep talking?
Oh, sorry, you're right. I want to let you put your foot in your mouth. Go ahead.
Number two, I like what they're doing for veterans. Me as a veteran, I like what they're doing for veterans. The other dude, he don't give a damn about veterans. Those two things right there are good enough for me. I land.
That boy didn't learn. That boy didn't name one policy. Not one. Not one policy. And I'm glad Anton was staying on him like an attorney. Right? Because there needed to be some understanding there. And he still didn't fully understand it. But you know what the truth is, though, right? Kamala Harris don't have any clear policies that people understand and grasp in their mind of what she's going to do for the economy. She just give out tids and bits and mostly talk shit on Donald Trump on most of her talking points, reading off a teleprompter. She doesn't really have her policies yet. And you can tell by the people that go to her events. They confused. They confused as hell. And people really just want to vote on Kamala Harris because either one, she black, two, she black and a woman, or three, they really just hate Trump that damn much. They really just scared or hate Trump. They just scared or hate Trump. It's one of those three reasons. Most people, it's one of those three reasons. They can't give you any policy. People who are voting on Kamala Harris right now is not giving a logical standpoint of why they would vote for her, which is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. This is somebody you talking about leading the country, leading the military, who is the example, who is the person that's going to go to other countries, shake hands and meet other people, or maybe not meet with them, just let stuff go afloat, you know, speak from a distance. This is the person that's going to be representing you. Man, homie crazy. Homie is crazy.
You also want the
hold on. Audience.
Man.
I'm gonna let you rock, big dog.
How are you the only one?
I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you rock.
You've been talking the whole time.
I'm gonna let you rock because again, I know that y'all need help.
You do gotta switch it up a little bit, let other people get in. But you know, I probably want to stay on homie right here too, because he just talking crazy.
What are you talking about?
I'm the most.
We don't. I don't want to listen to an old white dude in office. He don't even know where he's at right now.
Oh, you talk. You spoke. You said you landed. You said
I landed. You're right.
Okay, so you landed. Take that plane and throw it off the fucking runway.
It ain't gonna work. It ain't.
Audience. Do you hear this bullshit that they telling y'all?
Don't talk to the audience. Talk to us.
No. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to my audience.
Well, I'm talking to you.
Cool. What you said you landed and your plane
like,
is off.
What are you talking about?
Your plane is up. Listen, don't
you vote for an old white dude who don't even know where he's at right now.
The whole
You
point
vote for a team that cares about crime.
you
That's what we talking
challenging
about.
all of us to tell you what we like about
That's what we voting for.
But you're
I'm gonna
not
get to you. Hey,
Victor.
Victor.
Guy.
You're not
Victor,
accepting
Victor.
the fact that
What?
we don't have
Victor.
to tell you what we like about her. We're
Victor,
telling
can you give me a
we
second?
don't like him, and if you don't like that, that's your
What
problem.
the fuck? What are we talking about?
There's a whole audience here. We're not here to entertain you, bro. So it don't matter if I don't tell you what I like about Kamala. I don't like Trump. Period. That's all you need to get. If that's what.
Shut up.
Who put that shit on there?
Hold on. Give me a second.
Nah, I'm trolling. Go ahead, Anton. Go ahead, bro.
Give me a second. No. The only reason these people is here is for me.
They don't know Anton, they don't know it's your panel.
Go ahead, bro.
You don't realize who you talking to?
I mean, they don't know it's your panel. They don't know. They're not on YouTube.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. He got Anton pressed, man. He got Anton panties in the wad. Yeah, you can let that slide, man. You know who you are. You ain't gotta flex on homie. Yeah, you gotta know sometimes. Sometimes these particular people that get on these panels, because typically it seems that other people do the work for them and get these people on there. So they don't always know. You know what I'm saying? So they don't always know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, we don't listen.
Anton's channel, but my
no. Q. Don't explain it to them. I want them to stay in their energy.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, don't tell me to go ahead. No.
Can I?
Oh shit, I can keep going.
Wait, Demisha, you talk first. What are the reasons you're backing Kamala? What policies do you agree with?
So, my first thought process is I would want to make sure that I have an understanding, or obviously I'm new to this and on this platform, but in reading in the audience, but I do want to have an understanding that the administration signs in the bills and they do specific executive orders in regards to policies and laws, but the people that have these conversations and do the work is Congress. So I understand that we like to say Kamala and Biden and Trump, but I don't view it as that. So I just want to put that out there. I go based on the Congress and people that do that type of work. But one reason that I would support and vote for Kamala outside of the policy when I get to it is Trump is stating that he wants to be a dictator. So I don't want a form of government where one person is just running the country or wanting to get rid of the Constitution, which the country was founded on. So, I mean, that is a big reason why I would want to make sure that I'm voting for the other candidate, because I don't want that to happen to democracy, because I live and work within the democracy as being an elected official. But outside of that, I respect the fact of her encouraging.
So maybe I'm missing something. When did Trump ever say or make it seem as if he was going to be a dictator? That he was going to move the country into a dictatorship? Like, maybe I'm missing something, because I don't recall any of that. That's for one. For two, she asked you, what policies do you like that Kamala Harris is providing? She goes to attack Trump, starting off on the wrong foot.
Encouragement or platform of having diversity and equal representation, meaning we need to get more Black and brown people elected to office. I care about the fact of her health care, because Black women die at a high rate when it comes to medical services. I also want women's rights. I shouldn't have to sit here and fight for my rights or my daughter's rights to be able to, if they choose to have an abortion, if something's wrong with the child. These are just little things. The Voters Act, those are things that I feel I want to see replicated in our country, and that's not what the other side has on their platform.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. She started off her narrative about what it is that she didn't like about Trump again. And usually what I've come to conclude is that most people do that because she doesn't have policy. Even the talking points that dictator, even the talking points that she has are general. They're not even real policy. Okay, so number one, Trump never said that he wanted to remove abortion in general. And I'm not even an abortion supporter, right? What he said was it should go back into the states. The states specifically should be the ones to determine what happens on an individual state level, and it should not be in the hands of the federal government in the first place, okay? So that's number one. So all of this fear mongering when it comes to that whole women's rights things, that's trash. Number two, we got the same old talking points when it came to Obama, when it came to the people that's happening on a local level in all of these cities. This diversity, equity, and inclusion shit gotta die. It gotta die. So look, I want the best person for the job.
States to regulate abortion, that means if you're not in a state that is for allowing someone to have a right to exercise in their body, then you're fucked up. So correct. I want it to be federal because then there is overseer on these rights. I'm not going to be hopping and jumping from each state that is aligning with what I believe in just because we want to give states certain rights. The Constitution created rights for the states, but we have a federal government that needs to oversee states. So it's not adding up because you're going to move to a state if they heavy on policing, right, and they giving police immunity over in Texas.
Hold on, don't skip around. Let's stay on this abortion. Let's stay on this abortion thing.
To North Carolina and state of North Carolina and not be in Texas.
Guys, I'm about to cash a check for $180,000 and get my entire
Texas because we give so much governance over the state. No, I don't agree with that.
Well, listen, here's the beautiful thing. The first thing that y'all can do is close your legs.
Anton, slow down the chat.
No, I'm not slowing down the chat.
Man, come on, man. He didn't even have to hit her with that. I agree with him, but he didn't even have to hit her with that because what she said was so crazy. So you want to put control in the federal government over there, right? Not the states. Okay. I don't know what state you live in, but let's say the government has control over that. If the government has control over that federally now, right? All states have to be on the same page. You want women's rights. You want abortion, right? You want to kill your baby so damn bad. Federally, they say, ain't no more abortion. Now what? Or am I talking crazy? Or are you talking crazy? You want stuff to be put in the government's hands. But see, you're not dealing with the bullshit that people have to deal with in Santa Monica, Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore. You're not having to deal with those things, I would imagine. Because if you were, I'm sure your standpoints will be different. You wouldn't want that in the federal government hands. I'm glad our governor was shipping the illegals over there yonder to deal with all that bullshit. I'm glad. I ain't afraid to say it. Get mad at me if you want to. I'm glad. And I feel sorry for some of them. Half of me feel sorry, half of me don't, because these people were voting for those people to be up there and to have those type of laws and policies in place to where that type of bullshit can happen. But at the same time, I feel bad for them because some of them were, some to all of them were ignorant. Some the most were ignorant. They were just ignorant. They were just voting blue because they were told to. Crazy.
The first thing that women can do, because y'all so concerned with the government playing a role in what it is that you got going on as far as whether or not you can have a child or not, is close your legs and marry before you carry.
So do you automatically assume that a woman gets an abortion because she doesn't want to have the baby? Or what about if the baby has a disability inside? My daughter was born.
There are exceptions that both sides, agree on. Late term, rape, incest, disabilities, that is not even the.
So I'm saying, like, I hear you, but you have to speak the facts on what the other side says.
I am speaking the facts.
On a blanket abortion, don't care if you slept with your cousin or if you were hard.
I just literally said rape, incest, disabilities, and late term carrying. These are things that they agree with on both sides. Maybe not the late term carrying
levels. Look up Mark Robertson.
Listen. From Trump's perspective and from Kamala's perspective, on both sides, they don't disagree with those three talking points: rape, incest, and late-term carrying, especially when it comes to disabilities. Okay,
they do on state levels. There are state governors or people that's running. Mark Robinson for the state of North Carolina is currently.
Let's say that's true. Okay, you still don't want that federally. I mean, they all have to come up on a rule. And when they come up with that rule, it may be a rule you may not like, but you have to follow it because it's a federal law that you have to follow, a federal policy that you have to follow. End of the day, point blank, period. What she's saying may be true about some state where they don't care if you got raped. I mean, they don't care if you got your booty took, or they don't care that it's incest or whatever it is. They don't care. You still gotta have that baby. Okay, let's let you have it. You want it federal? Okay. Let's say it's not gonna work out in your favor. Everywhere across the whole United States, everybody gotta have a baby, no matter if it's incest, no matter if it's rape, no matter if the baby has the potential of killing you, no matter what. You gotta have a baby. Now what?
Trying to run for the governor, and he wants to do a blanket across the state of North Carolina. No abortion.
Then that means that the voters on a local level then should be able to determine whether or not they want him as their governor, because the local election is if not more important than who it is that you have on the national level. But the fact of the matter is, keep your legs closed. That's number one. And because y'all arguing on something that you can control. I never in my life ever had to worry about
the things she's talking about. They don't normally happen. Normally people are just having babies out of wedlock. They just messing around, having sex, not married, throwing babies everywhere, multiple baby daddies, multiple baby mamas. People just having sex, doing what the hell they want to do. But they don't want to pay the consequences. And I'm not for just having sex willy-nilly, but you got birth control, you got condoms, you can pull out, you got all these ways where you can avoid having a baby. You still out here having babies. But you want to kill the baby. Make it make sense.
About anything that was child related, especially when it comes to abortion, because I was very definitive of whether or not I was going to have a child. And there's literally over 100 different forms of contraception to prevent you from putting yourself in that position in the first place. So that's number one. And that's not something it's not something that I'm ever going to let a politician play on my emotions for, as far as what's best for my family.
So now
that's
you're
number
telling
one.
me that
number two, you keep on trying to skip past, you said, You keep trying to skip past what you said as far as this identity politics bullshit and this diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so basically what you basically telling me is that you want to vote somebody in based off of racism and prejudice and bias because you're not looking at who's best for the job. You're looking at, and the first thing that you said was, this is what I don't like about Trump. And then you tried to qualify it by a bunch of general talking points, especially when it comes to the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Those ain't general
talking off that bullshit.
We need diversity.
He baptized her right there. I ain't gonna lie, he baptized her right there. You hear me? Hey, he put her in the water. He put her in the water right there, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He baptized her right there. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
He all for the politics.
You have 62 people currently in the Congress that are black, but only 80% of them are Democrats. Okay, and I don't think party line. I'm independent. That does matter because equal.
You're not independent. You're not independent. Stop it.
No, this is what I want to call out. If somebody tell you that they independent and they voting for a person that they themselves can't even say what policies they have, the candidate that they're voting for hasn't clearly put out what policies they have, they're not independent. They're biased. They're either Republican or Democrat based on whoever person that they're voting for. And that's just being honest for both sides. I don't care who it is. If they don't have their policies clear cut and out there for the people to see, to people to understand it, whether it's economically, socially, government, whatever, if it's not clear cut and out there, you're not an independent thinker. Not even a little bit. And hell, I'd even go past even saying you're not even probably a Democrat or Republican. You just do what everybody else do. You will go along and get along, gang member. That's what you is. You will go along and get along, gang member.
More people that look like us because they understand our issues in our community.
They don't. You know how I know that? You know how I know that for a fact?
I'm an elected official and a civilian. So
the blackest cities in the United States of America are the ones that black people ran into the fucking ground. Tell that to Tiffany Henyard over there in Dalton. Tell that to Brandon Johnson over in Chicago, what he doing to his city. Tell that to Karen Bass of what it is that they doing over there in LA. Talk to London Breed to what they doing over there in San Francisco. Talk to Detroit, Michigan, and we was the biggest city to file for bankruptcy, and all we had was black leaders. I don't give a fuck about no identity politics. I care about what's best for my family.
That's a different process. You understand?
No, it's not.
Conversation. You need to get people in office that represent you, but you also need to hold these elected officials to the fire when you get them in office. So voting is not the first stop.
Go over there to Dalton, Illinois, and tell me that they're not trying to hold her to the fire, but she's still running the city into the ground. They operating at a $6.5 million deficit. Brandon Johnson just got into office 8 months ago, and he's already running the city into a deficit, and they've given over $400 million to migrants, illegal migrants into this country.
They do a good job on picking the correct candidate. You assume that I said because we need diversity.
The best candidate wasn't even black.
Just picking anybody off the street.
They picked him based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Have a good candidate, but I prefer them to look like me.
So what makes Kamala Harris a good candidate? Because you haven't said anything.
I just told you the policies that I support. Just because they don't align with your viewpoint doesn't mean that they're not valid.
The only policy that you stated, which isn't even a policy because she doesn't have an official policy for it.
You're right. So you're answering your own question. thought process won't come out until after the DNC. And again, the president, they can only encourage these conversations. Congress is the one that makes laws and
so
policies.
you're telling me that Trump's policies, proposed policies, wasn't
Trump
already
been
available?
in office, so he's running off
Every single candidate that
What are you
operated
talking
in the
about?
primary had policies on their websites.
No,
Even back in
Trump has been running for president for the last 3.5
even
years,
back
bro.
in 2019,
He's been running for 3.5 years.
The United
Cut it
States of
out.
America. When Andrew
Trump has
Yang was
been running
running,
since 2020. What are you talking about?
They have to have policies to talk
even
on
when
they're not
Andrew
in office.
Yang was
She's
running in
also currently
2019,
sitting as the VP.
when
So she
Andrew
has to
Yang was
still have
running in
the same
2019,
ideology of the current administration, not until it's truly official when we go to the DNC where she start changing her stump speech. Because when you hear it now, it's on the work that she's done and she's doing.
what
and the
work has she done?
Oh my God.
What work has she done? No, what work has she done? Outside of locking people up.
I just explained. Okay, so you would do it. What's his name? DL Hughley. So you go off snippets and run with that.
There's literally
so
black people over in San Francisco.
Only 45 was locked up, and how many of them were black?
That's the end of that. That's crazy. Listen, man. Like I said, like I've been saying, I'm gonna continue to say, my people, black people, don't vote on people based off their ethnicity, based off whether they are man, female. You vote on people based off of their policies. These are the people that are gonna be running your state. These are the people that are gonna be running your country. So all the feelings, they gotta go out the window. You gotta be practical. You gotta really think logical about these things. A lot of these people, a lot of our people just vote blue because we were told we have to. Let's stop that trend. Let's come up with a new one. Hey, if you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts. We gone. Much love and peace.